Hello, my fellow Nigerians. This message is specifically for Governor Sanwoolu of Lagos State. Honestly, Lagos is no doubt the center of excellence in Nigeria, and Lagos is heavily populated by Nigerians. There is no Nigerian, there's no any ethnicity that is not situated in Lagos. We have the Northerners, we have the Southerners, everybody has turned Lagos to be a home before any other places in Nigeria, because Nigeria puts most of its resources, most of its economy empowerment in Lagos. So meaning that Lagos has a bigger role in the survival of Nigeria as a country. Nigerian seaports in Lagos, maritime in Lagos, hotels in Lagos, workforce in Lagos, petroleum and all other banking also headquarters in Lagos. So Lagos is the center, in fact, the most valuable state, apart from the oil states in Nigeria. Now the question is, since May 29, when this government of APC in Lagos State and the federal, government has been sworn in, the question is, what is even the impact of Lagos State governor on Lagos State people? See, Lagos and other major cities like Abuja, Kano, these are areas where, this subsidy removal are felt much. Why? Because these are places where there are more cars, there are more jobs for people to feel the impact. And these are places where also farmers has to bring their goods to. Because most of the rural areas, I can assure you that the people of the rural areas, they use vehicles less in terms of going to the farm. Some of them walk to their farm, use bicycles to their farm. But they need transportation when they have to bring those goods into the city. That is where government comes into interstate, transportation. But in Lagos, we have BRT, few BRTs that has been operating in Lagos to cushion and joint transport with other private owns, Danfos, Molways, and all that. But in the wake of subsidy removal, what is stopping Governor Sanwoolu Babajide to roll out hundreds of more BRT buses, hundreds of Molway, hundreds of cars, just like we have in Bayelsa? It is commendable that Bayelsa State governor saw the need to roll out hundreds of cars, even when there are less roads and less people in Bayelsa State. So definitely with those hundreds of cars at subsidized prices by the government, it is very, very sure that at the end of the day, the people of Bayelsa State are going to have relief as far as subsidy and price fuel is concerned, compared to a state like Lagos that is well populated. The state of Lagos is like 10 Bayelsa State. Thanks to the governors of, is it Imo State now, who also increased minimum wage to 40,000, even when federal government, going to 2 months now, has not been able to figure out how to increase salaries and wages for workers. But yet the state governor took it upon himself to say, okay, let me give my workers 40,000 naira minimum wage, at least as a startup. By now, I expect government at the federal level to have increased minimum wage to 50 or 60,000 naira, so that I can also help, the dying economy and help, our workers. Inflation has increased in Nigeria because the budgets are pumping money too much into the economy. The money is not even going to anywhere but to their own pockets. And when there's so much money, of course, inflation will be the result of it. Instead of senators and lawmakers to reduce what they are making, they're instead adding to it, increasing it, when they are already the most expensive senators, expensive lawmakers in the world. It is also shocking to me that Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not think about the impact of subsidy on its people. After removing it, and you are now planning of how to subsidize, how to help the people, when that was supposed to be the first thing that you had 2 months of planning before handing over to you. You knew you were going to remove subsidy. What did you put in place to say, if I remove subsidy, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do to make sure that people don't feel it. It is ludicrous that a government removes the subsidy and after it now looking for a way to cushion the effect. Those effects were supposed to be thought of in the first place, because there is no way you would not have imagined, that it's going to affect the people. It's like a father taking the roof of his people and thinking that, after taking off the roof, rain is falling, so let me find out how to cover the rain. That is just a policy that the government puts out. Removing subsidy, and after its removal, let's see the effect. The one we see the effect will know how to deal with it. No. There's always been a failed policy. Anywhere that's such policies where you do policy and you wait for the effect before you match it up, with action. You must always sit down and think of, if we do this, what are the consequences? How can we minimize it? That is what government is all about. And that is why it is very important that we must take government away from all of this of our old fathers. They are old and they must learn to hand over power to younger generations. So, but for Lagos State, I do not know what the governor is doing by not creating. Lagos is so rich. Lagos generates billions of naira every day. So where is the money? What happened to the train station? The train that was opened by Governor Sanwoolu. What happened to the train stations? It's not even working. If the train station is working, maybe it also will have been helpful to Lagos, residents. What happened to the train? Is it just that we just invested so much money in setting up a train station and it's not going to work? That is shameful for the governor of Lagos State. And that is why, if nobody's talking about it, I want to bring attention of Nigerians and Lagosians to Lagos State. And now its government is not functional. This is a wake-up call. I want every government to succeed, whether Lagos State, whether Kano State, whether anywhere in Nigeria. I want, even the federal government, I want government to succeed, but let's do the right thing. That is the only way we can succeed. And in doing the right thing, we must put people-oriented policy first. Because you are there to govern the people, not to govern yourself, not to govern your party, but to govern Nigerian people. So any policy you're putting together must be to affect positively Nigerian people. And you must weigh your policy. If you do this, what are the effects? How do we minimize the negative effect of our policies? Lagos State government should wake up. Lagos State government should wake up. Governor Sanwoolu should do everything possible. If you cannot increase minimum wage, put more BRT buses on the street of Lagos. Put more BRT on the street of Lagos. The money is there. We can afford it. Put more buses on the street of Lagos to help dying economy and dying Lagos. Also, what is happening to the train station? The train must work. If it's not working, find out and fix it. So much money has been spent on these train stations. I wish Lagos State the best. May God bless Lagos State, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. My name is Faduri Oluwadare Joseph, aka Father Joe, leader of Rescue Movement for New Nigeria, and of course, a former presidential aspirant of the Labour Party. I remain Faduri Oluwadare Joseph. Thank you.